You got 30 minutes to kill? So do I. Let's go watch something together.
If this subhuman murdering piece of shite had said that, he said this back in January, this is in court documents, that someone had fed him substances which were controlling when he ate, talked, and walked. K-Ultra. Potentially. Wouldn't it also be crazy if 16 candidates in the German elections have died over the last month? A lot of them from right-wing parties. What the fuck? Wouldn't it be crazy if NASA confirms that on September 10th, a 100-foot asteroid might hit Earth? That's new. That's fun. Wouldn't it be crazy if an Irishman was arrested in Britain for making posts about trannies or something? What the fuck? George Orwell was British, by the way. What are you doing in the UK? Shameful. Wouldn't it be crazy if Turkey just banned social media as well? I told you, it's gonna happen soon. Enjoy it while you can.
Sometimes I wonder if they just want us to fight each other. It's almost like they divide us, and it's almost like we know this and we've talked about it in the past. Something about united we stand and divided we fall. I swear I've heard this before.
Okay, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm tripping, but wee massage?
I tried to get him to sponsor this video, but they said I wasn't big enough.
You guys aren't cops.
I'm not trying to be cop, but
I can't arrest him because of the investigation that is being conducted.
But we
It's
have
not
an arrest
being-
here.
is being-
I'm
I don't care. You're not listening to me. You're not an officer. You're not an officer. You guys can't come in here and do that sting operation because
Then why is one of our cases currently in court right now?
That's great that one of your cases is in court right now, but I can't do anything with that.
Can you call your
guys
supervisor for me, please?
No, I can't call my supervisor.
I would like to
Because
talk to
because I was an ICAC detective.
I would
for
like to
8
talk.
years.
I would like to talk to a supervisor, please,
Okay, fine.
officer.
You guys still can't do what you're.
I would like to
saying
talk
that you
to a
Okay.
supervisor.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Hey, listen, my man. You can delete everything. The cop's outside. I'm showing him everything, and I'm also gonna let your boss know that you're a registered offender. So
You lied to me. You basically lied to me.
I did. So this man right here, his name is Tristan. I'm sure you know him. He was letting me know that you guys didn't do a full background check on him. Tristan is a registered offender, and he invited a 12-year-old and 6-year-old girl to your store to have with them here. We have all the evidence. That's why the police are outside. This is your last time sending pics to 12-year-old girls? Can you ask him to come outside so we can take care of all this? If they arrest him, I'm gonna tell that old cop, listen, you're what's wrong with this police department. That old school way, that shit don't work no more, bro. All right, y'all, this is Tristan Kirkfrost. He's a registered offender who did 18 months in prison for 9 counts of child pornography on his device. 2 of those 3 officers did an amazing job. Let me go get this evidence.
To everyone out there actively trying to catch them, since it seems the powers that be don't want to do it, I appreciate it. Genuinely, from me to you, because they should just, bring the wood chipper out. I've heard it before, and it really makes sense. Just get them off the streets, and we should chemically castrate or take care of them, because they're not going to stop. They're not going to stop until we stop them.
First, they're sour. Then they're sweet. Sour, sweet, gone.
One day you will have to answer for your actions. And God will not be so merciful.
I know you gotta have a healthy sense of humor, but do just remember that at the end, you'll answer to somebody.
You ready for this?
No.
You think this is one of the scariest things that you've ever had to do in your life?
I can honestly say, yeah, it is.
Go
When we
through.
get to the bridge, it's gonna be fucking scary.
Yeah.
We're going to be crossing the Crescent City Connection.
Yeah,
These people-
the situation is everybody who's stuck on this side of the river without transportation is in the area that we're going to right now. And
Walking, desperate,
Walking.
without food or water.
haven't eaten in a few days, haven't drank in a few days. You know, so it's going to be a pretty desperate situation when we get there. And I can honestly say I have no qualms about shooting anybody. It's just that much lawlessness right now.
They'll have no mercy for us.
No, we have no fear. We will shoot first and find
I'll
out
shoot
later what
first,
they
ask
want.
questions later.
Right.
To shoot, to put them down. We didn't try to shoot to kill.
Oh, okay. Did you
We killed a number of them.
How many did you kill roughly?
Cats. Cats. Massive.
Yeah, I hear you.
Doesn't matter. They chose to die. They chose to commit suicide.
How do you know the vigilantes? You see them. How they patrol around here in trucks. 4-ton truck. Driver and a passenger. And then 2 in the back. With long guns. And nobody telling them anything. There was no police. No police. No army, no National Guard, nobody. Then they put in a shoot to kill curfew. Dusk to dawn, shoot to kill. But there's nobody left. Young blacks was being killed in this community. When you hear the gunfire, it's not something I'm just making up. It's out there.
It was great. It was like pheasant season in South Dakota. If it moved,
get out. How are we going to get out?
look, we this high in water. We grab what we get. How long you been walking for? About at least 3 hours.
They weren't gonna go in those doggone neighborhoods. They weren't gonna impact those neighborhoods. Those people were looking to escape, and they cut off the last available exit route.
Look at my people. I got 2 grandchildren, a nephew, another nephew right there. We got trying to get the old folks out. If I stay up here, I'ma die. If I go that fucking way and they shoot me now, I'ma die. So I'ma die any fucking way. You gonna tax me anyway. But whatever it takes for me to get mine out here, I'm getting the fuck out here. You heard me? I wouldn't give a fuck.
I remember all I kept hearing about was the looting, the rioting, how people were just robbing and killing in the street. And instead of people telling stories about how they were trying to help, how they were on top of the roof dying with help us so that a helicopter might come by and do something about it. I mean, if you believe the narrative, the media is always going to say the worst and horrible things. But when something really bad happens, it's up to us to take care of us. We got to look out for each other. I mean, you can put down your neighbor so that he doesn't steal from you, or you can share with him and he can share with you. The decision is always yours.
So you think the point of arresting Diddy was to shut down inquiry into what Diddy was doing?
Get the data, right? I think they did it to get all the data away from Diddy because he was being sued in civil court. And so they arrest Diddy. What'd they just convict him of? Nothing.
Well, that's clearly the point of the first Jeffrey Epstein arrest.
Wiener's laptop had kill switches in it. It was filled with crap that wasn't supposed to be there. We never get to see it. Supposedly 9 cops watch the videos on Wiener's laptop. They had to keep leaving the room because they couldn't stand what they were seeing, and all 9 are now dead. And there's names and faces and deadness, right? They're real people. Now you can say, well, maybe they died for other reasons. I go, but it's still 9 cops. You know, it's like the 5 cops who died after January 6th, right? 4 of them were suicides. According to AI, there were about 80 cops really in the thick of things. 4 of them died from suicide.
I remember when the sheriffs took over for the local PD over here, a lot of the officers started committing suicide. I mean, I'm sure it was to cover tracks of illegal dealings, allegedly. But yeah, 9 in a row. I mean, what's next? Suicide to the back of the head? It's not like I've never seen them do that while they were choking themselves at the same time. I laugh because it's so ridiculous, but if you look into the news stories, that's happened.
Well, guys, it's that time of year again. The aliens are abducting our marine life once again. As you can see in this video, you have a some sort of orca whale or possibly a shark has been abducted by a metallic spherical object, which is either the Anunnaki, an alien, interdimensional demonic beings, but for some reason they are transporting our marine life to an undisclosed location. So if anybody knows what's happening here, let me know. I'm interested in figuring out what's going on with them. Are they going to eat them? Or are they going to put them in a
Man, they got the booger spirits taking whales now. Somebody was on the way to the barbecue. They probably had a case in there too at the same time, huh? You gotta invite me, please. Somebody.
Is it possible that scientists got a signal from a parallel universe that used a wormhole, a microscopic wormhole, to send that signal? Well, it seems that way, because they're saying they found something and they think it could be a signal from a parallel universe. So the signal they received happened back in 2019, 6 years ago. And the scientists have been analyzing it ever since because they weren't really sure what it was, except they know it wasn't natural. So it wasn't like sounds from a star or background noise or radiation or whatever. And this noise or this signal didn't last that long, only about 10 milliseconds. But as they investigate it, they believe there's a distinct possibility that this is some type of message from a parallel universe using a microscopic wormhole. Because in theory, using wormholes would be a way to send a message to another universe or another dimension. And that's what they believe happened here. Now, the message being so short, don't really know what it means. It could be anything from a test to something we can't even comprehend.
You know, I always thought wormholes were ginormous, but I never thought about it being microscopic.
But my question is this. What do you think, Booshkis? Do you think other universes, other dimensions are trying to contact us? Or is this all just wackadoo? Let me know in the comments section. Shabadoo, Booshkis. Shabadoo.
Studies the very large array of satellite dishes that we have that searches outer space. They're the ones that got it. If it came from the same area as the WOW signal, it really does make me think that it was testing some sort of, just an escape of, probably didn't even want to or mean to. But I mean, we're out there looking for everything. So, I mean, we tracked it. It does make me wonder about the dark forest theory, where maybe we should be quiet and not let our signals go out. But more than a signal, we sent out an invitation, not only with our DNA, but how to find us, what our solar system looks like, and everything. And then we got a reply in a crop circle. It's pretty amazing. You should look into it sometime.
We're walking through the city, right? And look at this. Big building up there. Big building down here. And what happened, Mr. Drifter? Lost it. Huh? What happened?
Who else immediately said you can't park there?
This is the greatest secret ever kept. This reality we live in is not what you think it is. A quick disclaimer, this video will be hard for a lot of people to stomach, but that's part of the process. By all means, if it gets too hard, then scroll. You can always come back to it. First, we'll ask, why are all these buildings around us covered by stories of dirt? All over the world, we see these buildings that are covered by layers of dirt. And in about the same time as these buried structures, we have these massive structures that are built all over the earth, and they have no bathrooms and no kitchens. A lot of times built out of one solid material like marble, something may be hard to even pull off today, and I know you're asking yourself, how did they do this? Well, the ancient Ethiopian Orthodox Church has the secret, and for some reason it's not mainstream. Buildings like I just showed you built into solid rock in the ground, they said were helped build by angels themselves. Angels are believed to help assist in the construction of the rock-out churches in Libya. I know I pronounced that wrong, it's okay. So maybe these buildings are starting to make sense if literal angels help them do this. So on the same timeline with actual physical evidence, how did that same period of that amazing architecture end? Not too long after, it ended with huge, insane asylums everywhere. Some people say the ones who went there because they remembered something amazing. A period in time that nobody seems to remember. And also around that same time period, we had the infant incubators pop up. And at the same exact time of the Cabbage Patch Kids. So where did all these kids come from? With all of these insane postcards? It really makes one wonder, huh? And buildings aren't the only thing. These railroad tracks were here before we got here. Seems like people were traveling at this point in time all the way from Argentina to the North Pole. I wonder what could be up there. Come back to this. So what happened before this whole period of these grand structures? Well, the sun went dark for 18 months. They said much, but in the book History of Wars by Procopius, if I pronounce his name right, a Greek scholar, and he wrote, and it came about during this year, a most dread port took place, for the sun gave forth its light without brightness, like the moon during this whole year, and it seemed exceedingly like the sun was in an eclipse. Watch this. And from the time when this thing happened, men were free neither from war, nor pestilence, nor any other thing that leadeth to death. So the whole world was in darkness by the sun, and while that was happening, there is pestilence all over the world. I wonder what that could mean. I know, it's very hard to digest all this, but keep going. So in 536 AD that happened? We're gonna pop into Geneva 1570 for hints, but first let's go over here. 536, what's this? Why is this building and this building the same exact building, a picture of the same exact thing, and the dates are up by 1,000 years? Maybe the dating system is wrong. 1732 or J732, 1672 or J672, 1783 or I783. What's an I or a J4? Here's a coin. Jehovah with the I? The tetragrammaton right here. 1568 or I568. Jehovah again, just like Jehovah, like YHVH. And again, what is this right here? The official royal model of King Charles IX of Sweden? And on the statue in Latin it reads, Jehovah Salvium Meum. He was a ruler who highlighted God's name in Hebrew or Latin characters on coins and medals. So just like the coins I was showing you, the Jehovah or Jehovah is synonymous with the J. So let's dig a little bit deeper, because the Byzantine Empire, that empire that lasted 1,000 years, had pictures of Jesus on coins. These coins are referred to as anonymous follies because they do not display the name of the portrait of any reigning emperor, emphasizing instead the religious authority of Christ over the empire. These coins were minted in the millions? Is it just me, or is someone not telling us the truth about history?
And when I first started, I thought the pyramids were amazing. And don't get me wrong, they are. The fact that we try to believe, a bunch of slaves did that, it's not happening. But when you look at the antique marble work that's been done, some of these churches, these cathedrals, it's beautiful, it's amazing. And some guy with a couple of donkeys and a chisel did it. It doesn't really make sense. They didn't even have dirt roads to bring the stuff over there. But yeah, when you get really deep into it, timelines, I mean, they changed the Gregorian calendar a few times, let alone moved it 10 days once, or, just decided a whole year or two is gone. So yeah, I don't know where we're at. Maybe we won't die in 2012 for another 1,000 years.
Pay attention to this. I'm not going to narrate it because it'll get taken down, but you're smart enough, you'll be able to figure it out. This is how they've been doing it.
So it's a projection system? That's what I'm getting out of it. They think they're so slick.
The first time somebody told me that was a balloon, I laughed and laughed. And then I looked at it and I was like, wait a minute, that kind of does look like a balloon. And then you realize NASA's the #1 buyer and supplier of helium and glitter too, which makes me wonder if that's not the smart dust, but I don't know, allegedly, I don't know. It does look like they're making holograms out of it. And how do you cipher out millions or billions of dollars and then use it for black budget projects, which is probably how they're funding all the skunk works, different things, UFOs, UAPs that you're seeing. It's just American tech. It's just us building stuff. Maybe.
Here on the 50-yard line, it's always in the same places, guys. Places people gather, places they cheer, places they feel the most. And right above them, always watching, always pulsing. This isn't just a signal tower. These setups are designed for maximum emotional taking, we'll say that. When the energy is high, so is the broadcast. Notice the cluster? That's not basic communications tech. Those are layered bands, cellular, frequency scanners, emergency channel reroutes, and likely beam-focused nodes. They say it's for coverage, but ask yourself, who needs that much coverage right over the heart of a crowd, guys? You can feel it. Don't ignore it. Stay awake. Stay aware. Once you see it, you can't unsee it.
I could swear I just saw lights in a tower, but maybe I'm missing something. Then again, I also heard Katy Perry is getting sued for opening that capsule on the inside and revealing that it was not quite a prank, but trying to get people interested into going into space and paying a lot of money for it. But that makes me understand why they were looking at the camera holding the flowers instead of turning around and looking into space. Because obviously you wouldn't be, you know? I mean, I want to see what's out there, not just get something ready for Instagram.
New internet censorship program. They're deleting websites that don't agree. Woke up to this video in my feed this morning.
New global internet censorship began today. Its purpose is to eliminate dissent on any topic Google selects. Their partners are the United Nations and the World Health Organization.
So naturally, I did a little digging. You might even say fact checking. When someone shows you a screenshot of a website, you can usually find it by just typing in the exact same text you see on screen. Right off the bat, it looks pretty scary. Instead of internet censorship, Google calls it fact check tools. Its purpose is to eliminate dissent on any topic Google selects. Wow, that's scary. Ooh, and they chose two big bad guys to highlight. Google's algorithms are designed to delete websites that criticize topics such as these statistics, World Bank, and wait, what? Okay, and they're giving us links. Let's go to their links. Oh, hold up. What? This is just the blog from the Data Commons website. And the last article is from the 14th of September, 2022. And it has nothing to do with what we were just talking about. Something's fishy. If you couldn't already tell, back here in the scary article, they have all these new topics that are nice, clickbaity, scary talking points. And they show you this screen capture from where they found it all. Algorithms are Google's last-ditch attempt to control the internet before people worldwide can no longer access it. Well, that's a big claim. See, that new data list is actually being sourced from an article from the 10th of October, 2021 in their blog here that was just them saying, yo, we added some new stats to our whole data aggregator. This is what we added. By the way, this is the data tool we're talking about. It's just Google compiling a whole bunch of statistics that you can make charts out of, and it's like kind of not a very good program. I decided to test it out, see if it could tell me about the opioid epidemic, and you know, it kind of could, but it wouldn't let me change my time frame past 2006, which is like, what a pathetic stats tool. And it didn't have any information about that new big bad stuff, so how helpful are you really? I don't know. I definitely know that this has nothing to do with Google censoring the internet. So let's rewind to the top of this article and click on the link they had here that tells us all about these fact check tools. Because when you click on that link and you actually read about the fact check tools we're talking about, you pretty quickly realize that that article is wildly misrepresenting what this is. In particular, you'll notice who can create markup for a given site, i.e. put fact checks on the internet. Only people with access to the back end of that site, i.e. you're only putting fact checks on your own websites. It's not Google fact checking all other websites. Any account that is listed as a restricted or full user of a site will be able to create markup for any articles of that site. What this actually is a way for mainstream media to circle jerk their own fact checks and create them all in a little database so they can all reference each other, and you can search the fact check database where they all have the same format and API. So that way, like, New York Times can cite fact checks from Snopes and it can show up in the fact check database, and then they can compile a giant database of where they're also sure that they're right. So like, yeah, that it is what it is. That's not helping very many people out here. Please don't give an argument to the fact checkers by creating a dumb article that needs fact checking about why fact checking is bad. Like, do we not see how this is counterproductive? They're jumping from all of that misrepresentation of the truth to algorithms are Google's last-ditch attempt to control the internet before people worldwide can no longer access it. Guys, pump the brakes. There is a really important point here, guys. Yes, Google is But that is not what this was. We should all be very concerned with internet censorship on the left and the right. Everyone should be concerned. And if people are taking websites down, censoring information, which I'm sure they aren't, then that's a real problem for democracy functioning as it's supposed to function. But it's not helping anyone to make false claims about the censorship of false claims, because you only add to their argument that we need censorship of false claims. You can have a little database of Snopes interns being like, yeah, that's not true. Or we could foster a culture of do your own research, where we hold ourselves to higher standards.
I remember when the 19 thing happened, I kept having to go to the hospital for issues that I was having. And at the same time, they kept telling me that I had a new case of it, which ended up being long-term and all that, But anyway, while I was there, the news is telling you that everyone was passing to it. I didn't see any of that. It was never crowded. And I mean, they looked like they were ready for a swarm of people, yet it wasn't busy and nothing was really happening. So, I mean, in the age when all these videos, AIs are just going to be weird and you can put yourself in anything, it's going to take you looking, going out there and trying to figure it out for yourself and speaking to everyone just as we should, as we've always been doing. I mean, it might be a good thing for everyone now. You believe what you actually see. All right, that's it. As for me, I'm going to go move on with my life, hit the gym, get some food, talk to somebody new. Yeah, I'm going to probably just sit here and watch some videos and get into some weird stuff. I don't know. I don't know about you.